values means the value keyword you have written values values you have
Yeah.
written that.
Okay.
So erase this one. Yeah.
Okay.
After that, you need to provide here the name of the column where you are inserting the value. Okay. So the name of the columns for you, I can see is first name, family name, and address. These are your columns. So first provide
Yes.
the yeah. So first provide
So
the column names.
you mean I do this?
Yeah. See, so it automatically start giving you suggestion like you need to select this one and this one. Like yeah, just press enter. Yeah, comma, and then address, your third column. Yes. Now close it,
Okay.
and then now write values. Yeah, now enter. No, enter.
Sorry. Enter.
Yeah, you can start writing on the same line as well, but it will
Okay.
mess up the things for you. So it's better to provide one enter. Then yeah. Yeah. So Ahmad, you have written in without without inverted comma. So you need to provide inverted comma inside double quote or inside single quote. You need to write your values because these are the text values. So SQL don't understand the text values. If you will provide values inside the inside the inverted comma, then it will understand. Okay, this is something. Okay.
No, I don't get it. Something's wrong with what I'm writing now. What's
Yeah,
wrong with
yeah.
Ahmed?
So the Ahmad you have written, it should be inside the inverted comma.
What's an inverted comma? This is an inverted comma.
Just left hand side of your enter key button,
This one.
there is, yeah,
This is
this one.
inverted comma.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Provide both
This
the
one,
side.
huh?
Yeah, yeah, correct. Now, yeah, now same thing with the family name. Yeah, exactly. And same thing with the address.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, provide any random value.
Yeah, just practicing.
Yeah,
Now I close
yeah. Now put semicolon.
like
Yeah,
this.
yeah. Now select from insert. Yeah, from here. Now execute it. See, one row affected. And now how you will check? You will write select everything from. So for everything we use asterisk. Yes,
Yeah,
very
yeah.
good.
Everything
Very
from.
good, Sammy. I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
Okay. But
Oh, you
yeah,
should have put
yeah,
this. You mean?
yeah, yeah.
You want?
It's like
Huh?
it will still run, but for the good practice, always provide the semicolon.
Okay.
So
Okay.
you have successfully created the table. Okay,
Thank you.
let me
Now,
yeah, yeah.
yes. Why couldn't I delete Sami 06 25th June? Now I'm in the database pose. Okay.
Mm-hmm,
So this is what I tried to do earlier. I tried to do this. I tried to do drop
mm-hmm,
database
mm-hmm,
Sami 06 Jan. Oops, because I have a French key. Okay.
mm-hmm.
Why didn't this work?
Okay, the error you're getting in French.
Okay, saying impossible to delete database Sami 06 January
Hmm.
because it does not exist or you do not have permission. Maybe because I deleted it earlier. So why is it still showing then?
Refresh it from the Object Explorer on the left hand side only. On the no, just below the Object Explorer, you have option like
Uh,
connect, and yeah, this
this
is
one,
the
this one.
refresh. Yeah. Now expand the yeah. Yeah, so I think you
Yeah,
don't
it's
have
not
that
there.
database.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I
Yeah,
must
so it
have.
takes time. Yeah, it takes time
Yeah,
to
yeah.
refresh basically. Okay,
Okay,
let me
so
pick word. Let me check whether he is joining or not.
sure, I'll stop sharing.
Okay, I'm not get any. I'm not getting any response from Gilbert. So I think we should start the session now. Okay. So Semi, can you just tell me what we have covered in the last session?
I think we have covered, we created the database,
Mm-hmm.
then we created the table,
Okay.
then we inserted information into the tables,
Correct.
which
Okay.
I did.
Mm-hmm.
So we use the command, also we use the command select.
Okay.
We learned about the command drop, which is permanently delete.
Mm-hmm.
And these are the commands that we studied.
Okay.
Last time you inserted an Excel sheet, I think I
Yeah.
did not follow that very well because I was there was the connection was not good. Sometimes the connection drops, the quality of the connection drops, and you're
Yeah,
not
but
audible.
still you will have the recording of the session, so you can watch the recordings anytime.
Yes, I tried to. Unfortunately, okay, I have to sort out the problem. As I said, I'm using my son's laptop, my
Yeah,
computer,
I
and
understand.
um, and I forgot what is the password of his Hotmail account
Oh, okay. Okay.
because the Microsoft is running on the Hotmail account.
Mm-hmm.
So when I
Mm-hmm.
try to install Microsoft Teams, it asks for that which so I'll sort it out. Meaning I'm using Teams on the browser now, so I do not have the access to the functionalities that
Yeah.
you have
That
on the
recording
application.
and all, but still
Yes.
Sami, like if you log in, like even I am also using the browser only for the logging for the Teams,
Yeah.
and I am able to like access the Teams in which currently the meeting is going on. So you need to log in through your account basically, which we have registered over here, like the Gmail account you have provided us. I think Gmail or Hotmail, I don't remember which you have provided. Okay, let me
To access
check.
what? To
To
access
access the
Canvas, you mean?
no, no, not that canvas. I am talking about the current meeting which is going on. I record these sessions so you can anytime access the section, like whatever we are,
How
learning
can
over
I
here.
access them? I cannot access them if Teams is not installed in my computer.
Okay,
I
okay,
mean,
well,
See the team.
yeah,
Can I interrupt? I think the Teams is like an app which you can download, which is like a free version. So you can
yeah.
download that's on laptop and you can log in with your Gmail account, Gmail or a
Means
Hotmail
the
account.
same account you have given us for registering on Canva. On the same account you need to log in through. So basically, even you don't want to install the application, I am also using the browser, but still it's better, like Naveed is suggesting, you just install this application. It's completely free. Microsoft Teams, the name of the application, and you need to log in through the same email.
I know. But when I
Yeah,
try to install it, as I said, I need
yeah.
permission from Microsoft, so I need to access the Windows, and I forgot the email that
Okay.
operates the Windows. You need an account on Windows to be able to install any application from to install Teams.
Okay, you try to sort it out, because you know what
Yeah, yeah, I'll
happens,
try to
Nami?
sort it out. No
Yeah.
issues. Yeah.
Or what I will do, I'll try to share the link of this recorded session over WhatsApp, but still I'll try. I'm not sure whether it is going to work or not, but it's better that you resolve this issue. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
So, okay, let me check if Gilbert has responded.
Hello, Nabir.
Hi,
Hey, how are you today?
very good. Feel sleepy first of all.
Okay, guys. So let's start.
You are Indian, Nabir?
Yeah,
Good.
Okay, guys, so I'm sharing my screen and let's get started with the other statements. Okay, so we have till drop we have covered. Okay, still let me check. So I need to go to the database. I think Gilbert was the name of the database, but today Gilbert is not present. Okay, all right. Now, okay, let me check the file. I think I have saved the file somewhere. Just give me a minute. Okay, I got the file. So even I can share the same SQL file with you guys, like where I am writing the statements. So I can share this same file with you. Okay. So we have seen the drop, update, delete as well. Okay. Okay. Now we are going to see, like suppose we have other two commands as grant and revoke. Okay, so these two statement we use whenever we want to give access to particular user. So it's okay, right now we are using the SQL server in our personal laptop. But what if we are working in any organization and your manager will say that you cannot share these tables with anyone else. You need to simply work on these table by alone, by your own, and these are like some crucial information are there in the table. So in such case, what you will do, you will have the access for that particular table. Okay. Now you suddenly got stuck in any work and you need your um, you need help of somebody, like maybe your colleague, that how they can simply resolve their issue, your issue. So you need to give permission to that particular colleague to work on that table. Okay. And after your work is done, you can simply revoke the same permission. Okay. So in such cases where we cannot, when we have security uh, condition and we cannot share our data, so for such condition we grant and revoke permission. We use these commands. Okay. So how we can use that? So right now in my SQL server, I know that I have created one user just for the illustration purpose. So I first created that user. So right now in my SQL server there is one user whose name is John. He is also working with me on the same system. Okay. But he don't have permission to work on my databases. Now I want to give permission to John to work on the database, or to particular table. So right now we have xyz table. So what we will do, we will give John permission to work on the xyz table. Okay. So how we can do that? First we need to write create. So what is going on right now? We have one user as John, and now we need to give permission to John to work on the Gilbert database. So first we will create login for John to work on the Gilbert database. Then we will grant permission to work on the XYZ table. So there are two steps. The first step is, first we will create login for John, and then, or I can say for user, and then grant permission to user to work on a particular table. Okay. So for that, what we will write? We will write grant select on. Name of the table is, okay, no, first we will write create user. Okay. Hi Gilbert, what happened? Hello, Gilbert. Hello, Gilbert. I am not getting your voice. You're on mute.
Hello. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. What happened? You joined late?
yeah. I just came. Huge traffic.
Oh, okay, all right. Okay, so we
Yeah,
have not started yet. So we were just going through Sammy's. He had some confusion, and okay, let me again start sharing my screen. So what I was explaining over here about the grant and revoke statement. Okay, so as I was telling, the grant and revoke statement we use to give permission to user to work on any particular database or table. So the scenario which I have given over here, so suppose you are working on any organization and your manager gave you some important document, some important Excel sheet that you cannot share with anyone. Okay, now suppose you just got stuck and you need your colleague to their basically you need their help to work on that table. So for some time what you can do, you can grant permission to your colleague to work on that table, and after your work is done you can simply revoke that permission. In such cases, for such operation, we use the revoke and grant. Okay, so first step will be you need to create login for the user, and then you can grant permission to user to work on a particular table. So the first step will be you need to create the login. So how you can create the login? You need to write create user, and for me I have one user which I have already created. So the user for is John in my system. Okay, the word file which I will give you guys, in that word file I have written to create how you can create login as well. Okay, so how you can create user. So that query is also written. You can simply first create a user, and then you can apply these statements later on. Okay, but I have already John as my as another user in my system, so I'm not creating another user. Okay, now you need to write create user and then username. So for me, username is John, and after that, you need to write for login John. Okay, and now simply execute it. You see, commands completed successfully means we have successfully created login for John on the Gilbert database. Now I need to give permission to John to work on my XYZ table. How I can do that? I just need to write grant select on. Name of the table is XYZ to John. Okay, then execute it. Again, you see commands completed successfully. So there is no visual representation of showing that whether John is able to work here or not. But if you are getting this output like commands completed successfully, means we have successfully given permission to John to work on the XYZ table. When John will log in through his ID, he can work on XYZ table. He can work on the Gilbert database. Okay, now inside the Gilbert database there can be many tables. So right now there is sales table as well, but John cannot work on the sales table. John can only work on the XYZ table because I have given permission to John to work on only on XYZ table. Okay, so if you are running any company and you have such security reasons where you cannot share data with anyone or everyone, so there you can apply these grant and revoke functionality on the database. Now
One
I want
question.
to
Sorry,
yeah,
sorry to. So basically, you said that you created a user login for John. So
yeah.
John, as a person who actually have an account, a desktop account, but be an
Mhm.
SQL account on the same username. So basically, the user what you create login. No, I'm not talking about the username John, which
Mhm.
is that's username is actually for login into the SQL window. Am I right? Or how that will be
Uh,
different?
yeah. So, see, right now we all are using a personal system, but
Correct,
if you're
correct,
working in company, so the same tool which we use, the same license we use for the same tool. So the
correct,
systems
correct.
can be different, but the tool will be similar. The license version will be similar.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. So automatically the system catch up that user who are
Yeah,
under that license and give permission
right.
to that. Okay. Oh,
Yeah,
got it.
right.
Got it.
Okay. Now, if I want to
But
revoke the
excuse me,
same.
Pranjali, but if
Mhm.
we are working in a company, we as a user of the database, are we supposed to create the user John? Normally, it is the administrator
No,
in
we
the
are not
IT
supposed to
company.
create. No, we are
Yeah,
not supposed to create. This is what Navir also saying. Like there, like if you are working in any company, so there will be always already the list of the user will be available in the SQL server. Okay,
exactly.
these user will be your colleagues
So we
apart
go
from you.
directly to grant select. We
Yeah, we
skip
need to,
normally the first step.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. So suppose you're working on any database and you're working on XYZ Z table. So you need to give permission to them to work on your table. If you are not giving them permission, they will not be able to access that table through their systems. So this is the best part of SQL server, that here you have authority to select user to work on the database. So the security is really good in this tool. Clear? Semi clear?
yeah, clear, clear. Yes.
Okay. Okay. Now, if I want to revoke the same permission, if I want to remove the same permission, for that I will write revoke. Okay. Then select on name of the table, which is for, in my case, it is XYZ, and from, then username. So don't worry about the syntax because I am already going to provide you the Word file, and in that Word file, all the syntax have been written. Okay. So you do not to worry if you are missing anything, or if you're like, it's impossible to remember everything. I know that. So that's why we are providing the recording as well as we are providing the content. And personally, I believe in I generally provide word files as per the topic. Okay, after completion each topic I provide the word file so that you will have that notes with you, and whenever you want to access you can do that. So you just see commands completed successfully. Okay, so means we have successfully revoked the permission from the John. Now John cannot work on the XYZ table. Just simple. Okay, clear guys? Gilbert?
Yeah, clear for
Clear,
myself.
clear.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
great. Okay, now apart from this we have TCL, means transition control language. So here we most of the time the statement which we use over here is begin transition, transaction. No. Okay, begin transaction. Yeah, begin transaction, then commit and roll back. So these are the three major or important or most used statement in this category. why we use this category. So basically, TCL means your transition control language. It you can say that manage the transaction within your database. So basically, it helps you out to control and it helps you out to make your consistency for the reliability of your data. So basically, we use these command with the DML operations. So let me show you how you can do that. So, what can happen? Suppose you are working on any particular table, and there you are performing so many operations, like you are creating the data table, you are inserting data inside the table, okay, and you are deleting something, you are updating something, and you have different tables to work on. Okay. Now, in such case, what you will write? You will simply start writing the queries like that. Correct. Now your TCL, what it will do for any particular operation, we can, like how we whenever we start any topic, so what we do, we start creating either paragraph or inside any box we write one topic, and for the next new topic what we do, we simply create any, like we either enter or we start creating the uh, paragraphs. Okay. So we know that this particular topic is about creating table. This particular topic is about insert data inside the table. So whenever a new person who will simply see your queries will now understand, okay, this part you have written for creating the table, this part you have written for inserting data inside the table. Maybe you will write another query for updating data inside the table. Correct. So here what you are doing, here you are dividing your queries into small parts, so you can read your query properly and there will be a proper consistency inside your database. In such cases, to perform this operation, what we do when we have we write a large amount of query, we use TCL where we first start with begin transaction. So begin transaction means here we are uh, starting a new paragraph, or we are starting a new box. In simpler language we can understand this. So transaction. So begin transaction, first we need to write, then execute it. Okay. After that, what will happen? One transaction has been opened. Now inside this transaction, I will start writing my queries. So suppose I am writing queries for creating table. So I will write simply create table. Let's say semi. Okay. Let's say employee. And here I am having, let's say I can have employee name, employee name, where care, let's say 30 is the limit. uh, Last name, where care 20, and then mobile number, let's say email address, where care, and again 30, and mobile number, and for that I'm also taking where care, let's say 20. Okay, so here I have created the table, and now these are my columns inside the table. Okay. After that, creating this table, I will first execute this one, and now I am writing commit and execute this one as well. So what happened? So basically, commit is for when you want to make your changes permanent. Okay. So commit basically make permanent changes. Okay. Inside your transaction. Now, if I want to undo this one, it will not happen because I have just ran the commit statement to make these changes permanent inside any transaction. Okay. Now, what is rollback? So, suppose again for rollback, again I need to start one transaction, begin transaction because it's a new transaction because in the first transaction I have already made the change permanent. Now for the new transaction where I am creating another table or where I am simply uh, what I am doing, I am simply inserting values inside this table. Okay, so transaction, let me start this one, and now let's start with insert into. So insert into employee, name of the columns, employee name, last name, email address, and then mobile number, and then values, enter, employee name, Gilbert, last name, XYZ, okay, email address, Gilbert @ gmail.com, okay, and hey guys, I think Valentine has not joined, right? Okay, let me ping him as well. Just give me a minute, I just forgot. Okay. Okay. All right. So we were inserting the values inside the table and let's insert more. So let's take Sammy and uh, okay.
Excuse me, you forgot the mobile number, correct?
Yeah, yeah, right. Thanks for reminding me. Okay. Even though if I don't write this inside, but okay. I think for the beginners it's better to keep this value inside. Okay, now Sammy and Sammy @gmail.com, and then mobile number. Okay, let's put for Naveed as well. Naveed@gmail.com. And what else? Mobile number. Okay, now let's close this one. All right, so now execute this one. And now I want to uh, simply, now I suddenly remember that the values which I have inserted inside this employee table is incorrect, and now I need to put a new value. Okay, so what I will do, I will for undo the things, what I will write, I will simply write rollback. So execute this one. So now there is no value will be inside the table. So let me check, select everything from employee. So the work of rollback is basically undo. Okay. And the work of commit is to make your changes permanent. So you see there is no value inside the employee table because we have just roll back these values. Clear?
It delete only the contents, not the table, right? That means it will remove the, all the contents, am I right?
Yeah, because this is the new transaction I have started where I have written the query for inserting the values only. Okay.
Okay.
Here I have not used the rollback for the creation of the table because I have made these changes permanent. So if even though I will start, writing the rollback, it will not take rollback as come like it will not roll back the values. It will give you that the rollback transaction request has no corresponding begin transaction. It will give you error. Okay.
No,
So
I
if you
just
want to make the changes, yeah,
I just want clear. So basically, so the first statement you said that is make you'll not make any changes in that from the table. That's the what do you call the transaction when you not the transaction for the commit, right? The commit
yeah,
means you can't edit the table, you can't make any changes in the table. That is permanently lock the table with the contents,
yeah,
isn't it?
yeah,
Then
yeah,
then
right.
how the rollback will work in there if you're not able to change the contents in that table where by using a commit.
Exactly, exactly. So once I have created the table, once I have commit these changes, I cannot go back. But
Oh,
within one transaction I am talking about, but here I have started a new transaction where I am writing the queries to insert these values, and now suddenly I just remind, okay, the values I have entered is wrong and I want to change these value. So what I will do to just undo this operation, I will simply write rollback. That's it.
okay, so basically you have to use a new transaction as a declaring as a new transaction. There you have to write the rollback.
Yeah,
Then only you can make the changes, or you can.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
okay. So it will make duplicate tables in the back end. Then I'm just thinking from that. I'm not sure whether I'm saying correct or not. So when you transaction open again, the table will create a image of the
No,
original table. Then
table is already there because we have changed the we have made the changes permanent. Okay, table is already there. And what you can do when I have once I have started this just executed this commit, then and there the transition will close.
oh,
Okay.
okay, okay. Oh, okay, I got it. So maybe I will try that one more time. Maybe I'll be able to
Yeah,
understand. So it's okay.
so what you
Fine,
can
fine.
do,
It's okay.
you can for the same transition, you can write and you can use the rollback. Even for table creation, if you are not committing the changes, you can simply roll back. But once you have committed, it will not go
Okay, okay,
back.
cool.
Okay.
Got it. Yeah.
All right. So
Okay,
yeah,
okay,
so
okay.
we was so these are the SQL statement which are basically we use in for most of the scenarios. Okay. Now another topic, we will start with the data type. Okay. Now let me show you all the slides. So basically data type, you guys all had already have understood that data types are like what kind of data we are filling inside our table columns. Okay. Now we have like what kind of data can be, we can have the numerical value, we can have the text values, right? So for numerical values we have integer type of data type, we have float type of data type, we have decimal type of data type. So what is the difference? Okay, for integer type, basically this kind of data type store your entire number or without any decimal. Okay, so suppose you want to store your employee ID. Okay, so to store your employee ID, what you will do, either you can use varchar, but for smaller value, for small value range, I always suggest to use integer type of data type because the value is small, like till 3 or 4 digit, it is fine. Okay. Also, you must have question like where, how we can decide the range of the data type from where we can see. So on your Canva only, let me show you where you can find out. So you can take a screenshot of this or like for your remembrance. Okay. So this is the table I'm talking about where I have clearly mentioned about the ranges. Okay. So you can see the integer type of data type have this range. The small int is also type of your integer type of data type, but the range will be different. Okay. So small int is there, tiny int is there, big int is there. Okay. So these have certain range. Till that range, you can fill the values inside that particular data type. To not get confused with it, what usually people do in SQL, like professional do, they simply use for larger number, they use the varchar type of data type. And for smaller numbers where we are storing the employee ID, student ID, or any kind of ID, okay, product ID. So for that we use the integer type of data type, which is a just numerical value. Okay. Now we have the float type of data type. So float type of data type which we use to store the decimal point values. Okay. Now we have float and we have decimal type of data type, and both type of data type store both type of data type, what they do, they store. Okay, just joining. Why is taking time to join? Okay, guys. Yeah. So we have decimal and float type of data type, and both type of data types only store your decimal values, but there is a slight difference. Okay, so basically your float type of data type store your approximate values. Approximate values means suppose you are creating one table for students, and there you have one column where you're storing the percentile. Okay, so the percentile, if somebody got like a 93.66666, so what you will do, you will simply round figure that percentile, you can simply write 94. Okay, you are making a entire number rather than writing on decimal values. So in such cases where you are simply storing the approximate values, for that case we use the float type of data type. So I can write float is for approximate values. Means your decimal values, but approximate, where you can do the round figure, like you can make is 93.7. So rather than writing 93.666, you are simply writing 93.7. Okay. Now, in such case where you cannot change the value will be precise, like your salary. So suppose you're creating one column where you're storing the salary of the employee, and the salary of employee cannot be changed. The value will be fixed. So suppose you are getting like 50 lakhs of package. So you will write 50.2. You cannot do it 50.3, 50.4. You cannot change the values. So this value is fixed. Okay. So for fixed, we use decimal. Now, there is a type how you write float and how you write decimal. So suppose I am creating one table, and in my table I have one column as uh, percentage, and in the percentage column I am using float. Okay. So this is how you write when you are using the float type of data type. But in case of decimal, where you have the fixed values and you cannot change the value, and the value is in decimal. So what you will write, you will write decimal, like salary, name of the column, decimal, and decimal we write with p comma s, where p is your total value and s is your values after decimal. Okay. So suppose the values which I have generally in the table, let's say it's 2345.5. Okay. Now this is the value which I want to store inside the table. So I am, and this is the fixed value. I cannot change the value. So what I need to check. So the value is 2345.45. Okay. So what is the total number? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Total 6 numbers are there. And after decimal, we have two numbers. So 6 comma 2. Okay. So this is how you write the decimal. P denotes your total value, total numbers, and S after decimal. So after decimal, we have two numbers. That's why we have written 2, and we have written 6 because total we have 6 numbers. Clear, guys? Valentine have joined or not? I think some issue is going on his end. Okay, so this data type is clear, I hope. Guys, you need to speak out so that I will
Yeah,
understand whether you are
yeah,
getting
clear.
it or not. Okay.
It's clear for me.
Okay. So as I said that float we use to store the decimal points value. So this is how you write. So suppose here we are creating one table as product table, and we have the product ID column and price column. So for the price we have used the float type of data type. Similarly, here we are creating one salary table where we have the employee ID and salary column. For the employee ID we are using the integer type of data type, and for the salary we are using the decimal type of data type. So here we have given one limit that the total number in the salary will be 8, and after decimal there will be 2 values. So till 8 numbers, till 2 decimal number, it will store the values. Okay. after that we have the string type of data type which we use to store the string values, or we can say text values. So why we are calling it as a string values? Because this is we call as string. Okay. So, if you guys remember that while inserting the values inside the table for the name and for the address where we are assigning the varchar type of data type, we were keeping the values inside the this inverted comma. So we are basically telling the SQL server that these value is important, this value is a string value, and here we are trying to store something, some text values. Okay. So here we have the char type of data type, we have the varchar type of data type, and we have n varchar type of data type. Now, what is the difference between these three? Okay, for the char type of data type, basically what we do, when we use this type of data type, so the I can say the specialty of this data type is we use it for the fixed values. Fixed values means, so suppose I have one column as name, and here I am using the char type of data type, and here I have given one limit till 6. Okay. Now if I start filling the values inside the table, so suppose right now I am writing a b c d e. Okay. So 5 letters are there. Then I am storing A, B, C, D, E, F. So now 6 letters are there. But the case over here is that char type of data type, once you have given the limit till 6, and even though if you're storing the small uh, uh, names like within 6, if you're storing 3 letters as well, it will take space in the database till 6 letters, because here we have what we have done, we have assigned that char type of data type will have the the limit is 6 characters. So even though I am storing only 3 letters in the table, in the database it will take space for total 6 letters. So this is the disadvantage here, that it is taking extra space even though I am storing only small letters, sorry, less letters, rather than giving the so the limit here I have given the 6, but still I am storing here 3 letters. And the disadvantage over here, that char type of data type is taking space till 6 letters, so it is taking extra space. Okay. So basically it is giving burden to my database by taking extra space. So that's why when you are sure that you have the table in which you have like you where you're giving the limit till 5, and you're storing the names till 5 letters only, and you're sure that after 5 there are no names which have like extra letters, but they are all the letters are till 5. So that that time you can use the char type of data type. Generally we don't use char type of data type. And if I'm talking about the common scenarios, so generally people use to store string values either in varchar type of data type or either in varchar type of data type. Okay. So varchar type of data type gives you authority, where what we do, we give certain limits. So here we can give any limit. So suppose I am creating one column where I am storing the name of the employee, and here I have given the limit till 50. So the best part of varchar type is it stores value if you are typing one name, let's say Pranjali. Okay, so how many letters are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So till 8 letters only it will take space, not much than that. Okay, so this is the best part of using varchar type of data type. Now there is one more specialty of this data type is basically here what kind of data you can store. So this is the table you can refer. Here you can store either all the letters, letters with numbers, numbers with extra characters, and only number. So if you remember, for storing the mobile number, we were using the varchar type of data type, because here we have the authority that we can use this mobile number as varchar, and here it will take space till limited the how many numbers are there till that part only it will take the space, not extra space it will take. So that's why we have used the varchar type of data type for the mobile number column. Also, one more advantage is that if you will use the integer type of data type for the mobile number, there is certain range as we have just seen. Okay, so either you can then you need to use big integer type of data type to store the larger number. So to avoid such things, you if you want to be in the good practice, always use varchar type of data type. And you have one more type of data type which is nvarchar type of data type, and the difference between your nvarchar type of data type and varchar type of data type is just that so basically we use the nvarchar type of data type where we are storing uh, values in other language as well, international language as well. Varchar type of data type will not allow you to store such you know uh, values which are in different language or in different spatial unicodes. But nvarchar type of data type allows you to store data in different language. So basically here your N stands for national variable character, and here you can store text in multiple languages. So the scenario can be like if you have one company and there can be chances that employee in your company can be from different countries. Like somebody is from India, somebody is from China, somebody is from Japan. So if you want to store their name in here you can see the example. There is one employee whose name they have written with special characters in different language. So this is the best part of nvarchar type of data type, where you can store these values even though if they are in the different language rather than English. So this is the nvarchar or string type of data type. So here we have nvarchar, here we have varchar, where we have character type of data type. Okay. Now, apart from this, if you want to store date, if you want to store time, for such condition, we have date type of data type. So suppose here we have one table, we can see this is the employee table where we have the employee ID column and birth date column. So for the birth date column, we are sure that in the birth date column, obviously we are going to store the date, correct? So we are going to use here date type of data type, and this date type of data type basically will store the date. Similarly, if you want to store the time in any column, so in that case you will use the time type of data type. Now if you want to store both and time and date in one place, in one column, for such condition we have date time of data type. So it will store date as well as time in one column only. So here you can let me give you the screenshot of this. So from here you can simply check like what kind of data you can store in like what kind of data type you can use for store these kind of data. So you can see in column 1 I am storing green forest 5 where I have text values as well as I have the numbers. In the row in the third row I'm using the number spatial characters as well as some letters. In fourth row I am only storing letters. Similarly, integer type of data type, this is the kind of values you can store like only numbers. In date type of data type, this is how the formats can be of any date where you can simply store the date. In the float, you can use float type of data type for storing values for the decimal. Now we have the boolean type of data type, which basically we have for like other tools of SQL like MySQL, Oracle. But in this particular SQL Server database, in this particular tool which we are utilizing right now, here we have in place of boolean where we have the true or false condition, we have the bit type of data type. In place of boolean, we use bit type of data type where we store values in 1 and 0. Basically 1 denotes true and 0 denotes for false. Okay, so this is the only thing which comes in like most of the time we use to while creating the tables. These are the data types which we use to create to like assign the type of data in for any particular column. Clear, guys?
That one I didn't understand. Could you please repeat it, like the bit one
Okay, so bit one
with an
is like,
example, please?
okay, so for that we need to create one table. Okay, right now I'm just explaining you by writing, and
That's it.
then
Just
what we will do.
examples X we can do it later, but at least just repeat it like again. That's it. I just want to
Yeah. So bit
make
is
sure that what
basically,
my thinking is. Yeah.
yeah, sure. So suppose where we have one column in our table where we have such condition where we are basically condition like true or false condition. Okay. True or false. Okay. So generally we have the boolean. This is the data type where we have in the column we store either true or false. So maybe this is the value. We can take condition like suppose you are creating one table for inventory, okay, and in that inventory, you are checking that that particular product is available or not in your inventory. So what you can do, you can simply write that column name inventory availability. Okay, so this is the column you have, and in this column you are using bit type of data type. Okay, now this what this bit type of data type will do. So suppose I am storing values in that inventory availability column as 1 0 1 0 0 0. So this is the value which is stored inside my table. Okay, now here 1 is basically denoting the true and 0 is denoting the false. Means 0 maybe for some product I have assigned that this product is not available in the inventory, so I have given the value as 0. And if something is available in my inventory, so I have given for that product I have given the value as 1. So here 1 is denoting true and 0 is denoting false. So in SQL Server, we have bit type of data type, but in other SQL tools, we use the Boolean type of data type. So Boolean and bit both are similar. Just here the case is when you assign the values, you write for the Boolean, you write true, false, true, false. But for the bit, you write 1 0 1 0. That's it. Only this is the difference.
Okay, that condition, for example, if I want to keep a yes or no, for example, like one commodity I'm searching and I need to get which is available, then yes or no. So we'll use the boolean only, then not the IM, right?
No, for so if you are giving the yes or no condition, so basically here if you're creating the table and you want to put the value as yes and no, so there we will use the constraint like check constraint will be there. So constraint we are going to cover here. So the condition will be different over here. So but if you want to
I'm
I can
listening.
say, yeah, mathematical wise if you want to check, if you want to give, So
Please.
that time you can say like 1 and 0, 1 and 0. And if yes and no will come inside your, text value, like yes no, so you can compare that values with by using the where clause, where you can see, right, if you want to extract some values, let's say you want to extract for milk product, okay, and for milk product you have one column as that milk is available in your inventory, okay, so you want to extract, like let's say, quantity of the milk packets. So what you will write, select quantity from inventory table where availability is equals to yes. Okay, so this is how you compare. Clear?
Okay, but in the column, if I want to, in that, I have to create a column. For example, similar to that, I
Mm-hmm.
have to create a column.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, just take students as an example, right? So that
Okay.
column will be permanent column. So
Mm-hmm.
whenever the student's marks goes above 90,
Mm-hmm.
automatically I should get a plus, for example, a plus a. So this in this time also I have to use the boolean, right? But instead of that, if I'm giving a rank, for example, greater than, like, if you
Yeah, so
sorting.
for that, we have the constraints. So
Okay.
constraints basically, where we have one constraint as check constraint, where we give the conditions.
Okay,
So the
that's the
condition,
next level of, that's the next level of
Ye-
thing, right?
yeah, yeah, this
Okay,
is the
okay, good.
next
Okay,
topic.
okay,
Okay,
okay, no problem.
so this is what we have in the data type. Okay, let me check. I don't know, Valentine is not able to join. I can see admitting, but it is not happening. Mm, okay, guys, take 5 minutes of break. I'm also thirsty, and let me confirm from Valentine because we are going to start a new topic. Okay, guys, so let's start the new topic. So the new topic is constraints. So constraints are basically, you can say, these are the rules which we apply over columns. Okay. So how we can apply? So first of all, we have rules like unique, not null, uh, primary key, and unique, not null, primary key, check, and foreign key. So these are the rules, these are the constraints which we apply over the column. So how we can do that? So it's very simple. Let me open this file. Okay, let's take the examples. Okay, now I'm not writing the entire query. I'm simply copy pasting to save the time, and I'll provide the same word file. Okay, the same word file over email, each one of you, so you can practice. Okay, so here basically I am creating one table, one employees one table, where I have the employee ID column, employee name column, department column, and salary column. Okay, here you see for the salary column I am using the decimal type of data type, where I have given one limit that the salary numbers will be, total number will be 10, and after decimal till 2 value it will store inside the decimal, sorry, inside the salary column. Okay, now in the department table we have used the varchar type of data type, and the limit of characters we have given till 50. Similarly, for the employee name we are using the varchar type of data type, where the limit we are giving over here is 50. For the employee ID we are using the int, which is integer type of data type. Now you notice here I have written the not null in two columns. What does it mean? So basically, while inserting the values inside this table, if I by mistake, if I forgot to insert value inside the employee column, employee ID column, it will give me error that here you cannot have the null values. Null values means empty values. So let me show you with the example. So first execute this one. Now let's try to insert the values inside this table. So insert into employee 1. Now this time I am only taking employee ID column, because here I am trying to skip the employee ID column just to show you what kind of error you will face. Okay, if you try to insert any empty value, any null value inside the employee ID column and employee name column, what kind of error it will give you. So I am only going to take department column and salary column, because here I have not applied any rule. Now values, and let's give department as IT, and salary, let's say 20.23. Okay, now you see what it is saying, that cannot insert the value null into column employee ID and department. Why? Because here we have applied one rule, and this rule, this neutral rule, is saying that you cannot have empty value inside this column. You cannot have the null value inside this column. Now if I change the case, if I now this time try to insert values inside this table, and I am using the employee ID, and I am ins so okay, so this time I am only inserting employee ID, department, and salary. And this time I am simply skipping employee name. Okay, so here also for the employee name also we have applied this rule not null, and it is stating that you cannot have the null values, but still I am trying to putting one null value inside this employee name column. So again it will give me the same error that you cannot insert the null value in the department in the employee name column. But still let's check out. So employee id I am providing as 1, department name and salary. So you see the error cannot insert the null value into the employee name column because we have applied the not null constraint over here. Now let's try to insert all the values. So employee ID, employee name, department and salary. And here employee ID, let's insert employee name as Branchly. And yeah, now when I am executing it, you can see one row affected, and when I want to check, select everything from employees 1 table. See, so we have successfully inserted the values. So what is the motive behind using these constraints is basically, so suppose somebody have created one table and like in your company, and you ask your colleague that this is the data, can you fill this data inside the table? I have created the table. Okay, now your colleague maybe by mistake he forget to insert some values inside any column. Okay, so in that case what will happen, you will have the data but missing data, like missing value will be there. And if you're, suppose you're creating one table for the sales, and where you want to know like which product is your highest selling, which product is your lowest selling, right? And you want to simply calculate your profit. So when you have the missing values, obviously your profit will be wrong. Correct? To avoid such situation, we use the constraints. So even though if you are not working on that table and somebody else is trying to filling the values inside the table, if they are filling the wrong value, if they are filling the null values inside your any column, so then and there they will get the error. So they will understood, okay, in this particular column the not null rule have been applied and I cannot fill the null value, so there should always be a value in that column. Because so in this case, for employee id and for employee name, we have applied the not null constraint, not null rule. Means in both of the columns there should always be a value. Okay, now let me show you. If you try to insert values in the table but you want to leave the department on salary column, okay, so because here we have not applied any rule, so in the same case, if I am, now this time I am including employee id and employee name because of the rule, and removing the department and salary column, and here I am trying to fill the null value inside both of the column. Okay, so when I'm trying to execute this one, you see one row affected. It allowed me to fill value inside the table because for the department and for the salary, I have not applied any rule. So when I am executing this one, you see there are two values, but for the department and salary, it is showing null. Means there is no value for the department and salary column. Clear? Clear, guys?
Clear, but just one question. If, for
Mm-hmm.
example, you want to update the salary of Paranjali here,
Mm-hmm.
uh, how would you know which is Paranjali we are referring to? Because there's a duplicate
Y-
here. Just a
Yeah,
question.
so right now I was just showing the, example, so I have not changed the value. So you can simply ignore this example for right now. But to show how this not null constraint is working over here, so that's why I was just written any random value. But if you want to update something, so there is one more constraint which we call as primary key, and this constraint makes sure that if you have applied this constraint over any column, okay, any column I'm talking, so here the values will be unique, means there will be no repetitive value, plus there will be not null values. So basically your primary key makes sure that the whatever value you are filling inside the table is only one. You cannot have the repetitive value for the same column. But in this case, you can see I have two employee ID as one for the branchly. Okay. But if on a real basis, if I am trying to create this table, for the employee ID, I will make sure that I am applying this primary key constraint in this column. So each time I will have a new email ID. If I will try to repeat it, the value for this column, it will give me error that you cannot have the repetitive value. The best part of primary assigning the primary key constraint whenever you want to fetch value, like you were asking, if you want, like if you want to update the value, so how you can do it, because there are two progeny with the same employee ID, correct? But in real time we have unique values for the employee ID, and there we can, by just providing the employee ID. So suppose for the Pranjali employee ID is 1, for the Semi employee ID is 2, for the Gilbert employee ID is 3. So by providing the employee ID, you can simply update the values.
Okay, how would you write it? Would you write primary key after not
Yeah,
null?
so you will no, so you will write, okay, let me teach you one more constraint, then I'll tell you about the primary key
No,
constraint.
no, no, no issues. Okay.
Okay, so one more constraint is unique constraint. Okay, unique constraint, what it does, it makes sure, let me take example from here. So here I have the department table, and here I am using the department ID and department name column, which I have inside my table. Here for the department ID, I am using the integer type of data type, and you see here I have written unique. Okay. Now for the department name, I am using the varchar type of data type, and the rule I am using over here is not null. Okay. Now this time when I am executing this one, now you understand the difference. Now, when I am inserting the values inside this table, this time I am using the unique constraint. Okay, from the name, it's very clear that the value should be unique. I'm not saying that the value cannot be null. I'm saying the value should be unique. Okay, but it can be null, means there can be empty values inside the department ID column, but whatever value I am filling inside this department ID column should be unique. So let's see what error you will get. So insert into departments, department ID and department name. All right, and then values. Department ID is, let's say, 1, and name as IT, comma. Again, you notice I am using department ID as 1 and name as sales. So I have the different department, but still I'm trying to use the same department ID for both of the departments. Now, if I am executing this query, it is giving me error that violation of unique key constraint. Means I cannot have the repetitive value. Now this time if I change the value to 2, and this time if I try to execute this one, you see two rows affected. Means this time it allowed me because I am using the unique values. If I am repeating the values, it is giving me error that I am violating the unique key constraint. So now if you want to check, so select everything from departments. Now let's talk about the primary key. Okay. So basically your primary key constraint is combination of your not null and unique. Okay. Let me show you one more example for the unique. So suppose as I said over here that you can have the null values but you cannot have the repetitive values in the department ID column. So if I try to insert null values in this table, so for this I need to remove the department ID, and let's say name I am only filling here as uh, electrical department. Okay. So this is the department name only I'm filling over here, and I'm trying to fill one uh, null value in the department ID column. So when I am executing it, it will successfully run, and let me show you. It will show null in the place of department ID. Now, if you want to have one table where you cannot have the null value and where you cannot have the repetitive value, in such condition, the combination of not null and unique, we use the primary key constraint. So this primary key constraint makes sure you're in your table, in your column where you have applied this primary key rule, the column will have the unique value as well as the column cannot be have the empty value. So when I am taking this example, so here you see how I have written the primary key rule. Nothing. I have simply first written the name of the column, type of data type I am using for this, and rule which I am applying over here is primary key. So this rule is making sure the project ID column will have the unique values, also will not have the empty values. Clear? Clear, guys?
Clear from my end, yes.
Yeah, it's clear, but
Hmm?
I have a doubt not relating to those.
Yeah.
So when we discussed about the not null function, right? Not null.
Hmm?
So when you say not null means because we get a database from somewhere else and we connect with the database for retrieving information by using these commands and everything, right? So the not null means that while entering, so right now we are creating table here, we are entering value there, right? So when you put in
Right.
not null means we have to enter value the entire rows or entire attributes, sorry, entire columns. If you're missing
Hmm?
one value, that means it will not execute. Am I right?
Yeah, right. So it will not allow you to enter null values. Null values means empty values,
Empty. That's like blank cell. So for example, like a blank cell, right?
blank
We are
cell. Yeah,
for example,
right.
you have a name, last name, marks, ID.
Hmm?
I forgot to enter the ID. So
Hmm?
the function will not execute
Yeah,
uh,
right. Function will
that
not
program.
execute. It,
That
yeah,
program.
it will give you right away error that
Yeah.
you cannot have the null values.
Okay. The question is actually maybe a stupid question, but I thought let's ask here.
That's
So
okay. Yeah.
okay. Basically, when you so about null value, so we when we start working on this SQL, we always using some existing databases, right? So in that case, I don't think so. This null value function is required or null value options required in that case. Am I right?
Yeah, see what happens, no, so basically there can be conditions like you have some request from the client end. Okay, so the client have clearly asked you to create one table, and they have given certain information about that table, that this is the data I have, and I want you to create a new table where I want you to have these columns, and make sure that I will not have any blank values. So while creation of the table, you are applying the rules over the columns. So
Okay.
whenever or whosoever is filling the values
Yeah.
will get error if they are trying to enter any empty value by mistake. So
Okay.
it
That
isn't
means,
yeah.
then since once I create the table, so we will access this table through an application. Could be
Yeah,
any, give an example of any application, right? For example, any Power BI. For example, take a Power BI application. So that means while entering value in there, you
yeah.
can't keep that cell as a blank. You should enter. Otherwise, you're not allowed to go to next column, next
Right.
row.
So what we do in Power BI, we clean the data, correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Correct.
we
Then.
have, yeah. So we basically either we use a SQL as data source to connect with Power BI, where we use the tables. So we always make sure the quality of the table should be good, means there should not be a missing value, or impurity should not be there.
Yeah.
So to avoid such thing, we have certain rules in Power BI as well, where we clean the data. So it to basically to avoid such errors, to avoid such condition, we always make sure that this should not happen. We apply these rules. So this is the best part of these rules, that they will
Ila.
help you out to avoid the missing
Oh.
values. Hello.
Yeah. Sorry. Sorry. Yeah. Yeah, I can hear you. Sorry. Sorry. In between.
Okay, okay. So yeah, I hope that you have
Yeah.
no
I
confusion.
yeah, I'm hearing you only in between. My kid came and asked some, so I just want to say,
Okay.
don't disturb her. That's why.
Okay, so you have different situation today. All
Yeah,
right.
of
So
course.
okay, so these are the constraints,
Excuse
and
me,
the last,
Fazali. Excuse me,
yeah.
just one question, and I'm just following up on what Nabir was saying. So let's suppose we are going to import an Excel sheet that has 5,000 rows, okay?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And we have a condition of not null in our table. And we are trying to import these 5,000 rows, but some rows have a null value. How does the
That
system behave?
that
Will it
that cannot be happen. That cannot be happen. If you have created the, if somebody have created the table, and if they have applied the not null rule, so it is impossible that there will be any null value in the table.
I know, but I did not finish my question. So how will the system behave? Will it not import anything from the Excel sheet and give you an error that the import did not happen, or will it import just the lines that fulfill the condition? This is my question.
Okay. So see, what I have understood from your query, that you're asking that if suppose this is the table which we have imported, this is the Excel sheet, and in this Excel sheet there are certain null values. Correct? This is what you're saying?
Yes.
Correct.
So
Correct.
how?
My question
Correct.
also started from there only. Yeah. Yeah. The question is correct.
Okay. So
Yes.
this is the different case, because this is the table which we have imported. Okay, in this table we have not applied any rule. This is the table which we have received from the third party, and we are not sure what rules they have applied in this particular table. If they have applied the rules of not null, so definitely there will be no null values in the table. But if they have not applied and there are null values inside this table, that's okay, we can still import that table, it will not give you any error.
Okay. So the question that I didn't think the answer is, I'm just telling the answer. May you correct me if I'm wrong. So
Mm-hmm.
whenever creating a table for a vendor, for example, I
Mm-hmm.
may create a 16 or maybe 10 column table. I'll keep
Okay.
the names properly. At the same time, each column header, I'll
Mm-hmm.
keep a conditions that not null. Then I will
Mm-hmm.
execute that. I'll execute that SQL program, or maybe the table in a
Okay.
different system. So when the
Mm-hmm.
person who enter value in the table which I created in SQL, the time when
Mm-hmm.
the people enter value in there, they have to enter each and every column. It has to be filled with
Right,
some values.
right. If they will not, they will then and there they will hit the error.
Okay. So just the last question said, after making a table, there will not be any value there. Just there will be the headers, right? After I make the table, there will be
Mm-hmm.
headers. So there is no value. So how through which system they can any kind of example you can give through which system they can enter the value in the table then?
Yeah, so see, suppose you have created the table and you just left your work there and you asked
Okay.
your colleague that please, this is the table I have created and now you
Hmm.
need to put some values inside this table.
Correct.
Okay,
Correct.
so what they will do, they will start writing like insert into, and they will keep they will see, okay, this is the table and these are the columns. So they can check by using the select statement, and they see, okay, these are the columns, these are the 16 columns in which I need to fill the values. By mistake they simply forgot to for let's say for the second row or third row, they he forgot to mention one value, for one of the column he forgot to mention one value. Okay, so
Oh,
when he tried to execute that program, he will get the error that you
okay. So
are
that
violating.
while
Yeah.
while using so how to you how while using the insert into function, so when you're
Mhm.
typing the data, so you have to fill up the data, right? That's what
Yeah,
you're saying.
right.
Okay. No, so my thought process different. I thought maybe once I made the table, I'll save the table and give access to a different user to a different
Mm-hmm.
app, and there uh he had there he can't keep. For example, there like what Sami said, if there is a 5,000 row to fill it up, we can't use this program to fill all the 5,000 what do you call it
Mm-hmm.
the rows, right? Some system we need to use for that. Am I right?
Yeah.
This is just a small table if you create. Yes, the not null value we can apply here. At the
Yeah,
same time,
see, if I talk about the real time scenarios, no, so we always have, Excel sheet, like clients always provide you Excel sheets.
okay,
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 so
got it.
they don't ask you to create like thousand of rows of data.
Correct, correct, correct.
It's quite a lengthy process,
Yes,
and
yes.
if
So I,
someone
yeah,
is
that
good
might
in typing.
have
Yeah, but
typing
you
as
should be, yeah, right. But you should be aware what are the rules and how you can create the table, how you can insert data inside the table. So there can be scenario where you are creating a small table. So then that time, in that case, you should be aware how you can apply the rules, right? How you can simply fill the data, how you can update the data, how you can delete the data. These all situation, these all programs should be known by you if you're good in SQL. So
I
interviewer will always ask you like suppose most of the question they ask from the constraints, from the joints, from the normalization. So these are some common topics from where they ask question in interview. So they check your fundamental knowledge. See what happens whenever we appear for any interview. You can also notice they don't go for high level of question or high level of queries. First they start with the fundamental, because they want to check whether your fundamental is strong or not. If if you don't know how to apply rules over column, how you can work on the larger tables, correct?
I I got your point. Actually, I got your point. So I was thinking little broadly. So that's why I'm sorry. I'm just wasting your time as well in between to
No,
ask
no,
this.
you're not wasting my time. Anyhow, I'm just going to, finish the session because we have only 15 minutes left, and it is not, I think, good idea to start a new topic just in between. I will provide the sheet, so at least in the meantime, you guys can practice, and I hope you will have lots of doubts and you can clear in the next session. So I will feel good. Okay, you guys have at least practiced. And the good thing I feel today that even though Sammy does not have the recording access, but still he tried from his side and he remembers what he should write in the query. So I'm really feel good, Sammy.
Yeah, next class I think we will come up with minimum three questions from each
Yeah.
side, which will help each other to improve our SQL
Yeah,
knowledge. Yeah.
yeah. I hope I could
So
help.
Samia and Gilbert, yeah, we will we will try to bring some questions in last,
Yeah,
and yeah, still help us.
Gilbert is very
Ah,
quiet. I don't know why.
I'm just listening and practicing.
No, no, you joined late. That's why you're quiet. Sorry, it's okay. We
Yeah,
understand. Yeah.
Yeah.
the quiet people are the wise people.
No.
And just only one mistake I found in today's is basically when you put the salary where you kept the number as 10 digit. I'm not agreeing that because I always like to enter the salary of Elon Musk or the Microsoft man as Sundar Pichai and everything. Their salary is not enough for 10 digit. Yes, it will be more 20, I think 20 or 30 required.
I wish.
Good. I wish, yes, we wish,
And I would
yes.
like to enter their salary. I'm not. My salary is at 10 is not, and 10 is okay. Minimum is no need 10 actually.
It's okay. Like it's just we are creating something from our end. So
Just
whatever
no,
we
just
want to
kidding.
put, we can put. We
No, no,
can be
just
happy
joking.
by seeing that.
No,
Next
no, that
time,
time.
uh, so next time, what you guys can do, you can create one table and make sure you are in the employee name, you are keeping our names, and for the salary column, you are keeping the numbers
Like I'll
which we
keep the
want
number
to.
of Elon Musk or maybe the
Yeah,
American president.
yeah, please. Okay, okay. Jokes apart. The last constraint which we have over here is foreign key constraint, and the purpose of this constraint, the purpose of this rule is basically uh, to link the table. Okay, means so suppose we have two tables. Okay, in one table we have information about the employee, their employee ID, their name, last name, and their address. And we have another table in which we have information about their performance. Okay. Now we know that both of the tables are interconnected because both of the tables are carrying the information about the employees only. Correct. But what happens in such case now if I want to join both the tables, if I want to merge both the tables and all the information I want to have in one table, to achieve this situation, to achieve this condition, I have the joins, and these joins will only apply when at least one column is common between both the tables. Okay, so your foreign key constraint basically making sure that your tables are interconnected and your one column is common between both the tables. So this is why we use the foreign key constraint, and how we write it. So there is a different way to write the foreign key. So here what we do, in other language I can say, here we use primary key of one table to make foreign key, or okay, wait, let me show you through the slides, otherwise there will be confusion. Okay, okay, a check constraint is also remaining. Okay, let me just finish this one. Okay, so in this query, for my employee table, okay, for my employee table, I have used this, I have written this employee ID column. I have assigned the primary key. Okay, for the employee ID column, I have assigned the primary key, which is making sure that my employee ID column will always have a unique value. Okay, now you see over here, I have written foreign key, department ID, references, department ID. Why I have written that? So basically, here I am trying to show you guys that. Okay, let me show through the slides. I think that will be the better approach. Mm, Primary key and foreign key. Yeah. Okay. So see, just forgot whatever I have just explained. So just focus here. Here we have two tables. One table we have a student table where we have the student ID and name column. Okay. You see, for the student ID, we have used the primary key constraint. And similarly, in the courses table, we have utilized the primary key for the courses ID column. So you see, each value is different. Similarly, for the course ID column, each value is unique. Correct. Now, Now, if I want to join these two tables together to form one table where I can have all the information in one table only. I do not want to have two tables. I want to have all the information in one table only. So what will be my approach? Here, I will simply create one more table and I can, no, here I have not joined the tables. Okay, sorry guys. Here I have another table as enrollment table. So you see here I have basically three tables. Student table. Okay, let me show my writing. So basically we have three tables. First table we have student table. Second table we have courses table. And the third table we have as enrollment table. Okay. In the student table we have column as student ID. We have other column as I think it was student name. Similarly, in the courses table, we have course ID and we have course name. Now, in the third table, we have student ID, we have course ID, and the third column we have, I think, yeah, enrollment ID. So, enrollment ID. Okay. Now, for the student table, the student ID is primary key. For the courses ID table, we have the course ID, which is a primary key. And for the enrollment table, we have enrollment ID, which is a primary key. Now you observe here, here we have two more columns in the enrollment ID. The second column is student ID and the third column is course ID. Okay. Now you see that this student ID is part of the student table and this course ID is part of the course table. Okay. Now, as I said, this foreign key makes sure that your tables are interconnected. So here how they are interconnected? Here we have the student ID column from the student table and course ID column from the course table. So basically this enrollment table is somehow interconnected with the course table and student table. So here we are saying this enrollment ID. We know that this enrollment ID is primary key for the enrollment table and this student ID is going to be foreign key and also this course ID is also going to be foreign key. Okay. So basically, it is telling you that your enrollment table is interconnected with your student table and your courses table, because here we are using the primary key of student table and primary key of the course table in the enrollment table, and that's why we are calling them as foreign key. Now you see from the tables here, as I said, for the student ID, for the primary key constraint, we have the unique value. Again, for the primary key, we have the unique value in the course table, as well as in the enrollment table, we have the unique values for the enrollment table, enrollment ID column as well, because here we have applied the primary key constraint. But here, for the student ID column and course ID column, the values are repetitive. Okay, means the student whose enrollment ID is 1, okay, have taken the course 101. Similarly, student ID 1 have taken the course 103 as well. And if I want to check from here, I can say that Alice, whose student ID is 1, have enrolled for maths and history. Okay. So are you getting my point? Like here I have simply interconnected both the tables with this third table by using their primary ID column in the enrollment table, and this time they will be called as foreign key because they are interconnecting, they are linking the tables. So by seeing this table I can, because if you want to understand in simple philosophy, simple language, so student Alice can be enrolled for maths, Alice can be enrolled for science, and Alice can be enrolled for history. So he can be enrolled for any three of the subjects. There is no limitation that Alice will only study one subject. Alice can study math, he can study science, he can study history. Similarly, from this table we can say that Alice has take enrolled for math. Math course is 101 and he has enrolled for 103, and 103 belongs to history subject. Similarly, I can see that student ID 2 and student ID 2 is for Bob, and Bob have enrolled for 102, and 102 belongs to science. So basically this table is telling us that which students have taken which course, and one student can take three course, two course, one course, depends on him, but their enrollment ID will always be 1. Means for Navir, if I have assigned that Navir's enrollment ID is 2, it will be 2 for the entire course. It cannot be changed. So Navir have one unique enrollment ID and unique student ID as well. Okay. But if I want to check that Navir have enrolled for which courses, I can check it from here. So it will show you that enrollment ID is 1, and Navir student ID is 2. So I can check that Navir had enrolled for 102. Okay. Clear? Are you getting my point, or you guys want more examples? So
Uh,
basically, the foreign key constraint, we when we will learn about the joins, there is complete different topic, which is joins, where we will learn how we can basically join two or three tables together. That time your foreign key, this topic will more come into the picture, and that time you will get more clarity. But for now, for the understanding purpose, just understand this one, that your foreign key constraint, this rule is basically make sure that your tables are linked, your tables are interconnected with each other, so that only we can join these tables. And at least one column, as I said, should be common. So here you can say see that your student, and just ignore the values can be different, but at least this student id column and course id column are common. Okay, clear, guys?
Yeah, it's clear. I have one doubt that I can raise it tomorrow. Let me go through it again because I haven't um, followed
Yeah, yeah,
in a similar pattern. Yeah, so let me go through it and maybe I'll raise it next class. Yeah, I have a doubt on the primary and the foreign key as well. But I
sure,
understand. So in
sure.
a simple way, I understand. So correct me if I'm wrong. If
Hmm.
there are two tables, if there are two tables, and if you want to retrieve information from both tables based on one key, for example, I'm a me as a Nabir. One table have my grade and everything. Other table has my marks as well. So if I want to retrieve both in a
Hmm.
one table, so I can define a primary key could be student
Hmm.
ID,
Hmm.
but the next, the foreign key, how it works, that's I got little out. Maybe yeah, I will look on that and come back on next week. Then.
Yeah, yeah, sure. So even like
But
as
I
I'm
think the
saying that,
idea, excuse me, I think you showed us three tables, correct?
yeah, I showed the three tables, and
Yes.
I showed like these tables are how these tables are
Yes,
interconnected.
yes, yes.
So
The
basically we
idea
were,
is to create a fourth table, I think.
no, so we are not going to create any fourth table here. Here, these three tables basically showcasing over here that the other two tables like student table and course table are linked with the third table, which is the enrollment table. How they are linked here, they are linked by because we are using their column like student id column and course id column in the third table, which is enrollment table. So we are basically using their primary keys as foreign key in the third table.
Yeah, it's quite clear, but still I have some doubt. Maybe like
Don't
maybe
worry,
thinking
don't worry.
wisely.
When yeah. So let me provide you the word file. Okay.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you guys can practice the exact queries. All the explanation have been written after each query. So
Okay.
for your clear picture, one constraint is remaining, but still let me provide the word file. Maybe by just practicing that examples, you will get the idea. But still, I will explain on the letter class. Like I think on Monday we will have the another session, right?
Yeah.
So on Monday, let's meet on Monday. Till then, make sure you're practicing everything. So don't just be just lazy. Practice is the key. I can only teach you the concept. I can make sure that you are getting the concept, you are getting the programming, you are able to write the query. But if you practice more and more, you will have the clear of picture that okay, here I need to put the space, here I need to put the comma, here I need to execute by selecting the line. So everything will be come by just practicing, right? So I think
Yeah.
I have all of your email address. So okay, please confirm the on the same email ID. I can send you the word files, or you guys on different email ID.
Mine is the same. You can use the same. Mine.
Okay. What about you, Sammy?
Yes, yes, that's my email. Yes, I only have one email. Yes.
Okay, Gilbert.
That's okay.
Okay. Okay. Okay, guys. So see you on Monday. I hope the session was good.
Thank you.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Thank you. Thank you. Good night.
Good night.